Armageddon.
National Post-Apocalyptic Radio.
Starring Fred Willard.
How cool is that?
John Delancey.
It's a total parking lot out there.
Jello Biafra.
All you need is a thirst for adventure.
Tay Zonde.
Thank you.
Andrew Bowser.
A funny thing happened on the way to world domination.
Erika Ishii.
Nothing brightens your day quite like hard drugs.
Harlan Ellison.
This is outrageous.
And many more.
NP Armageddon on Spotify.
NP Armageddon.
National Post-Apocalyptic Radio.
Starring Fred Willard.
How cool is that?
John Delancey.
It's a total parking lot out there.
Jello Biafra.
All you need is a thirst for adventure.
Tay Zonde.
Thank you.
Andrew Bowser.
A funny thing happened on the way to world domination.
Erika Ishii.
Nothing brightens your day quite like hard drugs.
Harlan Ellison.
This is outrageous.
And many more.
NP Armageddon on.
Have either of you fellows heard of a place called the White Lodge?
Cooper, you may be fearless in this world, but there are other worlds. My people believe that the White Lodge is a place where the spirits that rule man and nature here reside. There is also a legend of a place called the Black Lodge, the shadow self of the White Lodge. The legend says that every spirit must pass through there on the way to perfection. There, you will meet your own shadow self. But it is said, if you confront the Black Lodge with imperfect courage, it will utterly annihilate your soul.
Shall we play a game?
No. Hey, this is Lucifer Bob. Above me we got Randy Elwin. I hope you're doing all right, everyone. We're gonna start off with a little bit of Archer from the Arcade Expo. Is that correct?
This is where it was introduced as like a playable Whitewood back in 2016.
All right, let's get that. Let me know if the sound is It's loud, dog. Funny, I can't hear it. You can hear it though?
Yeah.
Good.
Video of people taking video.
So we've actually been working on this for, I think we looked at end of 2013. But obviously not full time. So it's basically a Congo cabinet, and our buddy Guido, he has a machine shop, so we can make the play, cut the playfield out for us. The wiring harness was spliced from a couple of episode 1 kits.
It's a Zotac mini, like a home theater computer.
Oh, okay.
Runs a i3.
So it's kind of nuckish?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually overpowered, so, but it's something small, and there's an SSD, which is nice.
Why the Archer thing?
What's that?
Why Archer?
Just easily accessible media. We wanted to do something kind of funny, this, Evil Dead, something lighthearted, funny. You spent more time with the video mode than the rest of the credits.
I started from scratch, so I didn't even know what I was trying to do.
So Spooky wants to buy it. Make it My Little Pony. That'd be easy.
The Brody experience. Might be loud. I don't know.
Balls.
Great.
Just the tip. Just the tip. Finally cracked it. Wow, amazing. You can play YYZ. First of all, it's YYZ. And second of all, no, I can't get it. It's impossible.
There's a great line.
B0b Expo. Oh. Well, that's a flashback. It literally says flashback. Oh, wow. Camping.
Donuts.
Should we stop here or?
Yeah, you can stop.
Oh, hey, no.
That's
no.
the gazebo of
No, we
games.
can't.
And the chiptune bands.
No, we gotta see this now. It has to go on. That's awesome.
Oh, there's a Nintendo DS.
No shit. That's awesome. Rocking out with a stylus. Oh no.
Yeah. Note the TVs over the games and every camera.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And I think I end on Mr. Chiptune.
That was pretty cool. All right. Interesting. Wow, that was cool. I don't even know where to begin. So, how did the how did the whole thing even start to come about, I guess? Start at the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, there was darkness.
On the face of the
There were
expanse.
LEDs. It's my brother's brainstorm. So you can throw up a YouTube link of his talk at, you don't have to do it right now, or you can throw it up whenever.
Okay.
He was at Arcade Expo. I think that's from 2018. And there's a YouTube of that where he's talking about designing and whatnot. But I have here... This is a white wood. Actually, it's a brown wood because it's not painted white. So if you want to see what one looks like, and this is dated, he says it's Whitewood number 1, 2014.
Right.
Maybe I can auction this off for $3.
So you hold that up again a little bit? It's just a piece of wood, but still. What's that?
Plywood. Make sure I don't.
Some legendary though.
So that's what you start with.
Right.
And this has been sitting in my garage for a while. So
that was like the first mock-up part.
I think he did a foam board, which is a common thing to do, but this is the first embodiment where you can actually bolt pieces on and flip.
Right.
But yeah, he asked me, he said, oh, we should do a pinball machine because we're done with all our video exploits. And I was just kind of, it's the software part of it is always difficult because you have to cobble together something. And then he showed me a Cactus Canyon continued using the P-Rock, which is the multimorphic system, which replaces the hardware. Essentially, the motherboard controls in your modern pinball game. And a guy named Eric Prepke, I think that's his name, a software guy, had gone nuts writing a bunch of code to redo the Cactus Canyon game because he thought that the software was unfinished. So he did all this stuff. And then my brother got a set and he put it in his Cactus Canyon. So I was playing it and I said, you know, it actually works. And the guy did a good job with all the new code and all that, and I looked at, and there's a bunch of Python code. I said, well, yeah, it's doable with that. So, long story short, my brother goes, all right, well, I've got this Whitewood all planned out, and we'll do it on Archer. And I said, well, that's good. It's a appropriately goofy theme, and there's a lot of media. I was going to show my DVD, so you can get DVDs of the show, and then you can pull clips out.
Oh, right on.
So the initial thing was back then everyone was using dot matrix, you know, which was the kind of long, skinny with you know, you just do some rough looking graphics, although they're entertaining and all that.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's not worth it. We'll just use an LCD monitor and do. We'll just use clips from the videos. And so I just figured, hey, just make a media server that just plays clips, puts up text for your scores and other things like that.
Right.
So it's easy to say, and it's a little harder to do. And nowadays, I think you just get a Unity platform, which is for video games, but you can tailor it for your pinball graphics and all that. But back then, there was not a lot available. I'm talking like 2014.
Okay. I'm trying to think back. Like, okay.
Yeah, looking through my notes, it was just like, well, you can use some common like video game software components, put them together. So if anyone cares, that was SDL2, which is the simple and direct layer.
So no one had actually done that yet? Put like media on a pinball machine like that?
As a homebrew, there was a group of guys making a Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
and
okay.
They use clips, but they weren't essentially video clips. A lot of times you would just take the video and you would do a frame grab and then just put up frames.
Okay.
Which is, I figured, well, shoot, you know, I can deal with MP4, which is a common format today.
Right.
And it's easy for me to run through an editor and pull out, you know, you're looking at a 22-minute show and you want to pull out 2-second segments.
Right.
30 seconds. It is actually quite involved if you've never done it before.
Right, yeah.
So at any rate, it was, all right, I finally got the graphics server working, and I got some control code, which also used to test the graphics server, and they're divided, so there's actually a UDP link between them. So you could actually run it off of an independent laptop external of the game. It was kind of fun. I don't know if anyone wants to hear any more about software, because it gets pretty boring pretty quick. But the other thing you realize is if you start from scratch is you'll need some utilities, like to help out whoever's building the game. You need something to test all the switches and all the coils and solenoids.
Okay, right.
So first thing you realize is you write a switch matrix indicator. So if you ever gone into a real pinball machine, what is it? Not the utilities mode, or the service mode or something like that. And in a real world, switches break, wires break, and things like that. And you try to isolate it. Well, when you're building a game, sometimes you miswire something. You got the wrong wire to the wrong part or whatever. So you have to get get those things ironed out. And so writing that is probably the first thing you do. And then I also took a picture of the white wood and then formed little areas where you can just click with the mouse and that would fire a coil or turn on the light if you had an LED in there.
Okay.
Or activate the switch so you can manually check things out.
Right, make sure everything's functioning properly.
Yeah. A lot of times it's working fine, then something breaks. You know, you you broke a wire.
Right, and so it's like a homemade breadboard test board.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it works great when it works, and then if it doesn't work, then you have to figure out why. So,
right, yeah.
That's something that no one ever really talks about.
It's easy to miswire. I mean, that's one of the things that put me off computers was I was like, but I was hoping I'd never have to actually do the wiring.
There's a lot of wiring.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. My brother did. So.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Good.
So, yeah, funny for him. And it turns out, let me see, I looked through or final embodiment, as it were. We had over 100 video clips, 100 audio, what I call just audio clips, maybe just for the sounds, you know, shotgun sounds or cats or whatever.
Right.
100 call outs, which are just from the show as well. 50 music clips, either themes or something from there, and a couple animated PNGs and a couple just regular graphics. My brother's good with graphics stuff, so he can do some of the overlays or whatnot.
Right.
And so you're essentially managing this multimedia catalog and then presenting it during the game at the appropriate place.
Right, and pulling from it.
Yeah, so again, that's also involved.
Yeah, that does sound like it could be quite like you need a chart or something, at least, or a couple of thereof, to know when what goes where. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course to do it in a controlled manner that's entertaining. So that's also, it sometimes gets lost in translation. If you're the software guy, you're just trying to get it to work properly.
Right.
And then deal with the playability later. So, and let me see, I do have, if you can enlarge my.
Oh, yeah, I can totally.
A progression of.
Actually, let's go back to this here. And we'll just make you huge. You'll be in two places at once.
Okay. This would be one of the progressions of adding some features and doing some stuff. So let me.
Are we getting sound?
Yeah, there's sound. Mustache on a penis. It's fine.
Oh, look, nice.
Oh, right on.
Just a tip. Pina colada off your wife's head.
All right, I'll stop it there.
All right, and we'll put everything back to normal.
So that's just some of the progression, the rocket launcher or rocket loader, whatever. Fun
Right.
toy.
Right. That's pretty neat. You can see the whiteboard in action, kind of.
Oh.
Or not. You're
that's
finished
called
for it.
Oh, what's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, that's that was testing the Newton ball, as it's called, which is just usually a ball mounted solidly to the table, and then a ball that moves behind it, so you hit in the front like billiards.
Okay.
Does the kinetic energy, and the ball in the back shoots out. One thing that's unique there is.
Why would you do that?
It's a nice feature.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the pinball guys call that a Newton ball.
Okay.
I think there is a toy that's Einstein's pendulum. You've got the set of.
Oh yeah, full conundrum. Yeah.
And the other one bounces, and that's an example of it. And it's common in pinball. Sometimes there's like a ball behind it that gets shot up a little ways in a track, or it's
Right. For a minute, I never mind what I thought. I think I went mildly retarded for a minute. I was like, why would you put a ball in the plunger and use that to hit it? I was like, that's different.
One thing that's unique on that design is the Newton ball itself is switched. So when it's hit, it's detected that you hit it. So a lot of times in a game, there's usually a ball behind it. So when you hit, the ball has to move behind, and then that is sensed. In this case, the actual Newton ball is sensed.
Right.
And I have a clip of testing that, because it's actually it was a simple, well, in my mind, it was a simple fix. It's called a spring switch, yet you can't really
Okay.
is the grunt right there. Yeah, you can't do this in a real production game. It violates some safety rules, but we don't care at the time.
Interesting.
If you make my screen a little larger.
Yeah. Sorry.
You might be able to see it.
Yeah, let's do it like that.
Okay. So this is testing to see if the switch actually worked. So what is actually done is the Newton ball has a threaded rod through it, and instead of fixing it firmly to the table, there's a rubber grommet, so it's able to flex just a little bit.
Okay.
Key is the grunt right there.
All right. Yeah, I see that.
So just hitting the ball only triggers it.
Oh.
It's amazing what you can do with the
That's clever.
ballpoint pen and a paper clip.
Oh, that's very clever.
Cap the ball. Doesn't affect it there. Still eject the ball out.
Oh, that is interesting.
All right.
Very interesting.
So that was that was literally a ballpoint pen spring and a paper clip, and fixed in such a way that when you hit the Newton ball, it vibrates the spring enough to make contact.
Yeah, I recognize the spring.
Yeah. And, it was like, hey, it works, and I won't worry about it. And although I think it's not technically safe to put in a production machine because you have to have some safety rules about how you
Shielding.
connect electronics. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so your service menus don't zap the operator if something goes awry.
Right.
But,
So they have an alternate, like in production machines, and a fancier alternative way to produce the same effect?
Well, in the Iron Maiden, it's a totally different mechanism, but it's production quality. So
Oh, okay.
it still has the same effect, but the original was very cheap.
Right, I couldn't.
And that's sometimes what you have to do to get it working. And it's also interesting, just in that in the game, you realize that, yeah, sometimes there's a couple balls stacked up behind that one. You hit it, and the spring switch won't register because the ball doesn't vibrate because it actually conveys the energy to the balls behind it. And so it's real life physical event there that sometimes works that way and sometimes it registers. So you have to account for that in your software.
Oh, right on. Right on.
All right. And I'll show one more. I think not that. Here's an additional whitewood test. So we add a few more features, and one of them I think is an up post.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
There you go. Yes.
Well, you're starting to see some more of the detail. It's like almost getting finished.
So some of those features should look familiar if you played Iron Maiden.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's if you squint your eyes and look sideways.
Right on, right on, right on.
So yeah, that's just some of the mechanisms that my brother designed, and I think Guido cut them out in plastic, and they work pretty well.
Right on. It seemed like, I mean, it looked like almost like so close to a finished product with all the designs on there. It was looking good.
Yeah, it needed a little more artwork, and so when we got to Arcade Expo 2.0, that was in early 2016. We just call it the version 1, which was playable but only single player.
Oh, all right.
And it had its problems in software, so I had to kind of like babysit for a while. It would mostly work okay, but now and then you could get it to goof up. And then worked on it a bunch more, and then we took it to Pinagogo, and that was in May of 2016. And it worked really well at that point.
Oh, nice.
So
I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of people to test it out. I mean, That's good.
Mostly my kid.
No, right on.
Sat in my garage while I was working on it. I let him play it every night. He said, "Here, go test it out." So
That's
it
cool.
got a lot of flips to it, and part of the code is redone, and then a lot of stuff was added to it, and then it got sold to Stern, and my brother got picked up by Stern, so that worked out. So
Right.
he took the game to Pinball Expo, which is in Chicago. So that was in 2018, and he gave a talk on the design work involved and all the nuts and bolts of getting it, and you can find that online.
Right.
So I sent you a link that you can.
Yeah, I'll share that later on the Discord for
Interested,
everyone.
yeah, interested parties can play if they so desire. There's also, that one scene where Krieger's playing the YYZ.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
The
Yeah.
video mode. I kind of went off in the weeds there to where I said, well, you could have a video mode, but it's not going to be worth much. I figured, why not a drum hero style of Krieger trying to play YYZ?
I thought that was really innovative. I liked it.
And unfortunately, it can take too long.
Oh, I mean, but I see that's not. I don't remember anything like that in the Iron Maiden. If there is, I don't recall it.
No, you're not going to see it in a.
I was like, maybe I didn't get far enough in the table, and I didn't get to that special spot because I suck. But like no, that's kind of. I thought it was super innovative. I liked it.
Well, maybe in the Rush pinball table, but not in the Iron Maiden.
Right on, right on.
Or they did some other drum track. That was just kind of goofy. I had other stuff in there too.
Yeah, I can pull that up real quick.
If you
one?
want.
Yeah, why not? Some people might not have seen it. Let's see here. Here we go. There we go. I'm pretty sure this is it. Is that Mad Lab? Am I getting sound?
No, you're not.
I hear you. I just don't hear anything from the video.
You're not getting anything from video? Alright, let me do something. I don't know what's going on here. Why is my audio not working? We just got a nice update, so that's always great.
Well, because it's YouTube.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's OBS. There we go. Let's go back and try this. Now it's probably loud as I'll get out. Nope, there it is.
It's challenging.
I like it.
That's so
They should have kept it. Me too.
So I think the line turns red and yellow when you start biffing it too much.
Sounds like he's not doing too bad. Oh, wow. Better when you demonstrated it before. Yeah, it sounded like he wasn't doing too bad there.
Yeah, and you win Krieger Rands.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I guess you redeem for bonus points.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think there was also some low-level bug that interrupted the timing at times. So you think you're doing it correctly, and then it would just botch.
And throw you off the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't find out about that till later, but we took it out.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, and I did artificially create the full run through, which is 4.5 minutes. It's on my own YouTube channel, but you don't want to show that now. Interested parties can go find out.
Right. Let's do this.
Somebody's asking if, good grief, he asks a lot of questions.
Yeah, he's our moderator too.
I don't think we're the second people to put a full LCD after WAS. It was mainly LCD is just more convenient to use. So dot matrix displays are getting hard to come by, and they don't, they limit what you can actually do. In our case, it was just, cheaper and easier just to grab some LCD monitor, hook it up to there's a small computer running the show, running Windows 7. So in my mind, it was like, oh, why bother with a dot matrix when we got everything here, which are clips from a DVD, full animated.
Right.
So if you're doing a homebrew, that's big secret is pick your subject that gives you lots of media to use. So don't pick some obscure thing that's, off of a 30-second movie or something, or 30-minute
or even
movie.
an hour movie.
Yeah, find something that's got several seasons to it.
I just watched The Complete Archer from beginning to end. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Not in one sitting. Over a period of time. Yeah, no, that would be a
got
journey.
an iron butt.
Yeah, I know. Night after night.
Let me see. Stern won't move to anything unless it's economically viable. So I don't work there, but as a manufacturer, they have deals made. Did my brother play a role in that? I don't know. Was it their first LCD game? Not too keen on the history of it. It definitely makes sense though, because if your competitor comes out with a large LCD format, which is, from my mind, it's mainly for observers not playing the game. When you're playing the game, you tend to have your head down looking at the play field. At least I do. And I can hear the call outs and such. And then when there's a pause, you can look up and see an animation. But it's mainly for your buddies that are waiting their turn. It gives them something to watch.
Right.
And so I find that entertaining if there's, you get these clips. Of course, Archer had a lot of great clips to it. But if you put a dot matrix next to an LCD and, just average Joe comes up, they're probably going to be more impressed with the LCD version than the dot matrix. Dot matrix will then be known as, oh, that's the old style pinball game.
Yeah.
So Batman, you say Batman 66. Okay.
How quickly that happens.
And then from a software viewpoint is totally different, because now you have to have a full screen multimedia system and manage those assets, and then you need a bunch more storage rather than dot matrix, which is 180 by whatever. It's they're dots, and they compress.
Sure.
That's probably why they were used, is you didn't have to have a big the storage system to hold them all.
Right, so, the amount of code for that. So, yeah. KBs.
So it's just technological progression. And from a manufacturer viewpoint, it's then, okay, we need a certain type of LCD. Can we get $5,000 a year at a decent price,
Right.
and get them to make all your games. So you need maybe $10,000 a year for however many years you're going to go into production with them, and then make sure they, hold up in a pinball environment and whatnot. And that sort of thing you just pretty much blow over when you're doing a homebrew. You don't care if it, can this be shipped to Germany without falling apart? Yes.
Right.
Can it withstand abuse for, 6 months in a bar and have beer spilled on it and not fall apart and have people kick the coin door and stuff like that?
Right.
So,
Right.
and do you have to, there's a lot of stuff we didn't do, which you would normally do in a production environment.
I never thought if they beer tested them. That's kind of nice.
That's why it's called a beer seal.
Oh, right on.
And,
I didn't even realize I had a beer seal. I would be paranoid as fuck to bring a drink around a pinball machine.
Well, when games now are costing upwards of 10 grand, you're not going to let your buddies get a beer next to them.
Yeah.
You got one at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
exactly.
get your ass off my game. That's...
Right. Get a coaster too.
Wear your gloves when you play it.
Right.
So,
mucking up the
but yeah, everyone should build a pinball machine, even a virtual one, because you'll learn a lot. I tried doing a virtual one a couple years ago, and it's a different skill set. I think there's instead of hand fabricating something, you're sitting there with a little CAD machine or CAD drawings and crap like that, and trying to get these little things to work properly. But once it starts working, it's much more reliable than the real embodiment, which, as I recall at the Pinagogo show, excuse me, through that in the back of my brother's truck, it's about an 8-hour drive up to the middle of California, and set it up, and it worked really well for the show, and only one switch broke in the ball trough or an opto or something that was isolated and fixed quickly. But other than that, the game held up to, I think we had a play counter, and it had a lot of plays on it.
Nice.
So, and the bonus there is he was using regular pinball hardware, which is usually time tested. So if you're using mechs, the beer line. But that helps out. But the hardware software aspects have become much easier since what I called it before time, the earlier days.
Right before time.
The multimorphic board sets, they cost a bit more, but actually after you've used them, they end up saving you time and money. And a couple competing board sets have come out. I think there's Fast, and then there's there was Open Pinball Project, which is kind of the low end, but I don't know how reliable. I actually own some of that hardware, and there's just more pieces to it, and anytime you have more pieces, the reliability, of course, will go down a little bit.
Right. But that's interesting. I didn't know they sold hobbyist kits for pinball. Like physical ones, yeah.
You can.
I've seen the parts, and I've seen but I didn't explore it enough to see a full kit. I guess I didn't look well enough. But I was just looking for specific things for myself. So.
Well, yeah. I don't know if anyone sells a whitewood in the standard dimensions. I do know somebody was selling, they call it the Italian bottom.
Okay, hey, nice. We have the power bottom, the Italian bottom.
So if you notice...
Yeah, right. A very special move.
This is a whitewood, and this is that's the plunger.
Okay.
Plunger lane.
Oh, okay, right. No, that's the other way around.
Okay.
The groove, there's a groove for the plunger lane, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the ball trough and whatnot go here, and then the flipper mechs would go here, and these must be the bumpers.
That looks right.
The holes drilled. So that's called a standard Italian bottom for historical reasons. And I think somebody was selling a white wood that's drilled for that, so you can put standard flipper mechs and bumper mechs on it, and a shooter mech and a ball trough. It'd get you going. And then I know somebody was selling a flat pack cabinet on a standard size. Flat pack meaning it's like IKEA. Everything's cut and then it's stored flat.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that, but that's pretty awesome.
Not cheap, and of course shipping costs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
that's all I gotta say.
$2,000 before you can actually flip the thing. So most people try to find a donor game that's actually harder to do these days because there's just fewer of them.
Yeah.
It used to be somebody had a routed machine that had been out for 15 years and is all beat up. Wasn't worth much to restore. So you can,
the market's heated up on the last 7 years. It seems it's really heated up.
Yeah. So just like your home virtual pin, you can buy, setup cabinets, or you can do your own. There's nothing that's particularly hard. There's just a lot of it.
Right. Me and a buddy of mine, we're working on doing a table. We started with my baby step is I did a ramp, made a virtual ramp. That's about as far as I've gotten. But yeah, my understanding is they do a lot of it now in like either VPX, and then port that information over to a dedicated what do you call it, board.
I don't know. It's
right
up to the designer.
Okay.
Let me see.
Because I was seeing there was another program that went along with it that used VPX, but then went further for making an actual physical table build, and then transferring that software onto, that code onto.
I believe somebody made an interface between VPX and the PROC hardware.
Right.
So you could substitute instead of the software switch contacts, it actually used your whitewood table hardware switch contacts feed into the VPX, so you'd have your controls and actions triggered by an actual physical game.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I think that's why I was looking at pinball parts.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And most designers will not use VPX to design a game and then transfer to a hardware. The ones I've seen, like Dennis Nordman, would use the foam core to lay out. You'd have a white wood essentially, then he would glue foam core parts just to get a visual feedback quickly. And some guys use that. Some guys have it enough in their head they can just put it on a CAD and carve out a board. And,
right on.
And if you've seen some of the designers give talks, and they'll give their steps involved, maybe the mechs that they came up with and whatnot.
Right. Just a quick technical. The whiteboard is just the plywood being used as a breadboard, or is that whitewood? I mean,
yeah. Although this one doesn't have any white paint. Traditionally, it was just a board painted white that had all your holes cut in it. And that one does not have inserts. So it may or may not have inserts, which are the plastics that go over the lights.
Okay, right.
And sometimes it's this version is just for mounting hardware. So you want to see where the ramps go, where the rails go, and any mechs you have in there.
Okay, right. So it's for positioning and getting the angles right and that kind of thing before you went to the wiring stage.
And some designers are, each one operates a little differently, but eventually you have a flipping hardware that has all your mechanicals on it, your ramps and whatnot. to get there is still a bit of work. And then usually, depending on the designer, they may have iterations of each whitewood. So they'll have, the version 1, that's the first embodiment. And then they may adjust items, say, well, I need this over here or shorten this, whatnot. Maybe a mech doesn't quite fit. And so they'll make notes of it and then adjust and carve out another one and then play that and then adjust accordingly, however many iterations is required.
Right.
I do know I asked my brother when he made Godzilla, and I got to play the whitewood. And I said, well, how many iterations? He goes, this is just 2. It was good enough. So.
Right. Well, yeah, right on.
So sometimes you have a good idea of how everything goes together in the CAD, and then it gets carved out, and then just one tweak and you're set to go. So
yeah, right. And I'm sure other times it's a little bit more. Yeah. So that was CNC'd, right? You said a friend of yours. Good Grief was just asking for if you mentioned it was CNC'd or cut out by hand.
This one was. It looks like it was CNC'd. I'd have to ask my brother. Oh, maybe it was, and it's just on rough plywood, which is cheaper.
Right.
And then you use your good Baltic birch, your 9-layer Baltic birch. And a friend of his who actually does work at Stern, his name is, we just call him Guido. He had a shop up in LA. And he has since moved to New Hampshire in his the past couple years. So he was able to translate my brother's design into carving up a nice, whatever the prototypes. And a lot of the holes in there, you can buy standard parts. And so the dimensions are known, especially if you're working with inserts, like a triangular insert will have a certain curvature to it. And then it has a step so they get pressed in, and you might glue them in as well.
Okay, right on.
And you can go look at any Stern factory tour where they show you, here's the board, and then we put all the inserts, then they have the machine that presses them down, and they sand the top, and
and make me drool and feel jealous.
Yeah. And then if you go through there, you'll see a stack of play fields ready to get assembled. Then they have the assembly line where at each stage something's put on there, and the big wiring looms. So Stern is actually just a big manufacturing company that makes pinball machines. And anyone that's attempted to make their own machine realizes quickly how much work is involved just assembling and getting all the pieces coordinated and the wiring.
Well, I mean, before you even got to all that, I mean, you must have had to consider your rule set, your general idea of the game, or at least you and your brother. Yeah, not just the theme. I mean, but is it gonna have multi-balls? Is it gonna, to base your ramp ideas around, it seems like that would come first, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
Yeah. I had no input into that.
Oh, right on. I'm just curious. Do you know how long he was baking on it for? Years, or just something he just one day said, let's do it, when you were saying?
I'm sure he had thought about it because he'd been working trying to make homebrews for years.
Okay.
And if you find his talk at the expo from 2018, he'll touch briefly on some previous attempts. But for example, in the demo I showed where it has this pop-up post that was added. So the original whitewood didn't have that. It's just you can make these loop shots. And for us mortals, you make a couple of them, you're feeling good. But people that are really good can just get the timing down and just boom, 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 boom. And he goes, yeah. So I thought about that, and we'll put a pop-up there. So after 3 loops, the pop-up goes, and then it stops. And so you have to do some other thing. And it's I wouldn't have thought of that because it's, from my viewpoint, that's hard enough to get 3 loops.
Right, but now you got directionality to think about.
But as part of the playability of the game, so there's another level, some of us are just, you're trying to make the game functional, but to make it playable it takes a different skill. And you find out too, sometimes you have an idea of how things work, you implement it, and then once you've actually played the real version, you'll find out some little things that maybe are good, maybe are not, or
right.
Like for example the drum hero that I goofily put in there, well, that slows the game down. So if you have a good flow going, goes in the scoop, you've activated that mode, now you got to sit there for however many seconds pounding out Krieger drum beats.
Right.
For some of us it's funny and it's humorous, and for others it's just like, I don't want to deal with that. You hit the double flippers and cancel it. It interrupts your flow.
Right.
But that's just part of the playability. So if you played a game that has good playability, and sometimes you don't know why, you just say, well, that was fun,
sure,
even though
it just had a good
it's a
flow.
3-minute game, but yeah, I got into some good shots and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's part of the skill of being a designer, I suppose.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I was reading a, rather snarky pinball. I don't know. I think they were being funny too, and that was part of the snark. But they were saying there's different types of pinball players, like 3 categories thereof, and then there was those who like the Randy Elwin tables. There's only hipsters and tournament players. You're not Randy Elwin, Keith Elwin. Sorry, but.
Yeah, don't confuse it.
And then they listed every table I liked, and I was like, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, and everyone has their opinion. So
yeah,
if you're in the business, whatever sells, that's what you want to keep making.
Yeah, that'll list dad tables too. It was, I think, the second category.
Yeah, our Archer definitely wasn't kid friendly. Although I did have the mechanism where I could, kind of select. It's like, it's too hard to implement. We'll just put on there's PG or something like that. Don't let your kid play it if you're offended. It didn't have too much stuff. It's just like the show.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's another
innuendos.
thing. Yeah. In the real world, you have to worry about that. What's your audience? Is it going to be in a bar or somebody's game room at home with
I
kids
figure
running around?
if the Bride of Pinbot can be on a kid's game, it's all fair.
Yeah.
That kind of blows my mind, but that's a whole different story.
That's that's a neat game too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like them all.
Yeah, I like it better than Pinbot.
Let me see.
Definitely a key aspect.
You want to show the final update video? Did we already do that?
No, I think there was let's see, there's an Archer rotating beacon.
Oh, that one is
and the and then we have the expo.
Yeah, the rotating beacon, it to me is just, it's like, oh, well, why didn't I think of that?
Okay, let's check this out. All right, the danger zone. Right on.
Yeah, if you.
Oh no! What are we doing? We got Legacy of the Beast. Oh, what do you know? What do you know? Speak of the devil. There it is. The Iron Maiden table.
Those.
Sorry.
Rotating beacons. Those were just a simple. I think it's just perf board, maybe an octagon or a hexagon with a red LED, something around it. So your software just fires them in a sequence. And apparently at the time I only had. Oh, what are you showing there?
Oh, I don't. Where? What?
Is that a commercial?
Is there a commercial?
A Fanta commercial?
Oh yeah, we've hit the 3 hour, 2 hour. Yeah. It'll go away. They did implement something nice though. They finally went the way of YouTube. So like instead of like having to subscribe to each channel to get rid of ads, they just give a flat fee of like $10, $11, something like that. So anyway, just throwing it out there. It's brand new, so people know about it. It's cheaper.
We're back after the break.
Yeah, we are back.
Is it delayed or real time? I can't tell.
We're back. It's a few minutes stuff.
Yeah, the rotating beacon is just a set of LEDs that go around. And in fact, I think we made a version that stacked a couple around, so it's a cylinder of LEDs.
Okay, because I mean, it looks like a police thing, so it looks real smooth.
Well, yeah, there might have been a rotating light in some pinball machine. Somebody might be able to think of it, where it has a little, reflector, like the old police things that had the reflector that went around.
I want to say, yeah, for sure. I just can't think of the machine.
Yeah, I know like F-14 had the actual flashers on the top.
Right.
And
yeah, it could be
this was supposed to emulate something like that, but
it did a good job.
It was like, what's that?
I said it did a good job.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those things to where my brother says, "Oh, can you fire these in a circle mole?" Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Simple enough, and then they look good in the little housing they had.
Right.
And so I think we had another one in the back that was like for the shooting range or something. But again, to me, it's just like it's a simple concept, easy to implement, and it'll look good. So put it in. I like stuff like that. And then let me see the other YouTube is just after the Pinagogo show. My brother got to work on getting some artwork put on the play field, and there was some software tuning and things like that. So that's what he calls the final update.
I think I got this in the right spot.
Yeah, okay.
Whoa, it's a little loud.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Can you hear it?
It's not that loud. I don't think
All
it's
right.
that loud.
It sounded loud to me.
Yeah, you can just play a couple seconds of that. You realize, too, the voice actors are with us no more.
Well, some of. Yeah, I do.
Jessica Walters, the
was so
Mallory
sad.
Archer, and the Woodhouse character.
Yeah.
And then
The guy that
Ron,
played her
her
husband.
husband. Yeah. Oh. Who was Woodhouse, the actor?
I don't know if I knew his name.
Somebody's asking about concept art. No, I don't have any artwork. I don't even have any of the Python code. I looked around for it. I think I purged it or something. All I have are a bunch of the multimedia clips, which came from the Archer series. And then a lot of the stuff my brother printed out on his printer. Oh yeah, there's a rotating beacon in the back. Never got past the whitewood. That is true.
Right.
It's very, there's a big gap in a whitewood with spray on or stick on laminates or glue on, and then a whitewood with printed. It's a big jump in complexity.
Right.
The slings have graphics because they're underlaying the plastic. So you can take the sling plastic you cut out with a laser cutter, so you have a nice shape, and then you print out graphics on maybe translucent or even paper if you're desperate. Then just do a like 3M spray and stick them on to the back, and they'll hold it up there long enough for a few pinball shows. I don't think they'll peel off. Yeah, having transfer graphics onto your white wood.
Well, it looks like a decent set of speakers on the side.
I don't know where those came from.
Oh, right.
I think they're just like PC speakers or something. A lot of, if you took the front off of there, my brother has a story that he'll describe in his talk about it. But you also, yeah, I think he found out he ran into problems of having a print shop print you out something from commercial media. They won't do it.
yeah, right.
Oh, hey, we recognize this. Sorry.
Mhm.
And I do know that the font I use is called Bavus, so that was the Archer font. And
It looks really good.
Yeah, it was fun to play. The
I
other
love
thing
the purple,
too was
blue, light green color schema in the back. That's a good touch.
yeah, the cabinet was just basic black because it had to be transported, and didn't want to spend money on any graphics or decals.
All right.
Yeah, if you took the back glass off, you'd see some of the hardware mounted. Then we had the small form factor computer clamped on there, and then some LEDs just kind of stuck in the back.
Right.
And, all your wiring shoved up.
So did you like have an input jack then instead of having in lieu of your own speakers? Is that what it was?
No, I think they were just some decent computer speakers.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
recall
Yeah, they
them
do
being-
look decent. I mean, you don't see a lot of back like with the bass holes in them.
Yeah,
That's why I
forget
said
if
they
were-
look decent with bass
Oh
holes.
no, those were that's just graphics.
Oh, all right.
There was a grill on there, and the speakers were bolted onto the back somehow.
Okay. I was like, wow, man,
and-
those look pretty pricey for a homebrew
And
table.
It used I think a Donor Williams power supply, which is the big transformer.
Okay.
Then you run the rails, but underneath the playfield, it was kind of a rat's nest, and not all the wire was color coded, but it
Okay.
may have had stickers, or you write on the back where the matrix, because you use a wiring matrix when you're doing switches and LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the wires don't get tangled up in anything and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, once it got running, it was pretty reliable for the amount of shows it went to and the transportation and things like that.
Yeah, I thought earlier you were gonna say when you got to the place that one pothole took it out.
No.
One pothole away from disaster.
I
It
only
sounds a little
remember,
sturdier than all that.
well, unless your car goes into a ditch.
Right. Well,
Yeah, there was that mystery. One of the optos would pick up noise, but only if you wave your hand near it, and the opto would get noisier or less noisy. And I think as a desperation, I wrapped aluminum foil around one of the pickups there to ground it, just to
Right.
shield it.
Right.
And it was ghosting us, as it were, getting ghost triggers.
Nice.
And I never did figure that out, but my experience, if you have to wrap aluminum foil around something, you've got other problems, not just that.
Right.
But it worked well enough.
Yeah.
And I think the last my brother told me is sitting in the Stern warehouse.
I was that far from asking, does it exist and where does it exist? But
He said, "Hey, you want an Archer pin in your garage?" And I'm all, "Be nice. I don't have room for it." It was in my garage for a while, but they do take up space, especially if you have to work on them a lot.
right.
And the other thing you note, if you don't have your playfield clear coated, as it were, it plays a little slow. And if you don't clean it regularly, it'll play even slower.
You're right.
So if you compare that, you play the Archer like a lot of people did at Pinagogo and the other homebrew show. Then you play Iron Maiden, which is based on it, but you'll see differences. Yeah, the modern playfield is much faster. It's like, whoa!
Right.
It has the same look and feel, as it were, but it's sped up quite a bit.
Right. I played what is a remake of medieval. Yeah, medieval. I can't think. Medieval Castle.
Medieval Madness.
Yeah, Medieval Madness. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, you're
MMR,
right.
the Medieval Madness remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. There's one of those locally, but I haven't played it in about a year. And I've played the Attack from Mars remake as well.
All right.
To me, the flippers just feel a little off, and the LEDs are much better than they used to be. In the early days, the LEDs would flicker way too much, and that would bug my eyes tremendously. But the flippers always had a slight off feel to them, and but I don't think I'm good enough to really quantify.
Right, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, we just didn't have, yeah.
And it could be just a tuning aspect, or maybe some hardware slightly different.
Right.
You're just like, this doesn't feel like the original, but apparently they do okay. I did not get to play the Cactus Canyon remake when I was at the show. As there is too many people playing it.
Yeah, right.
So can't comment on if they.
I was almost about to say when you were showing that one thing, I don't know, we were looking at it was like a animatronic video game, animatronic game where they were shooting. I was like, fuck Cactus Canyon. I want that shit. That thing is bad.
The shooter hall that was at Arcade.
Yeah.
And for those that live in the LA area, Arcade Expo was in Banning, which is like from your way to LA to Palm Springs on the I-10.
Okay.
Kind of in the middle of nowhere, I always thought, but it was next to an airport, and I think it was a cable manufacturing facility at one point in its life. And the guy that bought it just wanted to make a big museum out of it and stuck all those pins and arcades. It was great, but it wasn't open more than maybe twice a year to the public.
Ouch.
And then when COVID hit, they had some issues, and that's when they had the big estate sale, as it were. They auctioned off all the pins.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the auction, and it was just like, wow.
Wow is right.
That's all I had to say, and I was like, I don't really want to watch this as much as I thought I did.
But it was a fun show for me. That day, my brother says, "Oh, we're giving a demo at noon," and it takes over 2 hours to drive there from where I live, and you got to drive the I-60 or whatever, this crappy freeway that zips around the mountains, which is a white knuckle drive. But it's getting close to noon. I'm still in my car, and then I get stuck on the road waiting for one of the big UP trains to go by. I get this phone call. My brother's frantic. "Are you here yet?" And I'm all, "Well, I can't drive through the train. I'm gonna have to wait a few minutes."
Right.
Those things are long.
Yeah.
But it was mainly just hop out of the car and go in there and get the thing working. But people like playing it at that show. And then Pinagogo, and then it got played locally. My brother would have a bunch of friends over.
Oh, right on.
So it got beat up a bit, but it kept working properly. And then off he went to Stern, and it followed him to Stern. So I got played some there.
Well, that's cool though. I mean, I don't know, maybe one day there'll be a Stern museum. Is there already a Stern museum? I mean, I know they have the factory tours, but do they have their own? One day there may be. Who knows?
It would be the showroom, but man, if somebody put together the Stern Museum of Pinball, every Stern game from the past, 80s up until now.
Yeah, that would be something. I'm surprised I whispered in Stern's ear.
You'd have to go to the Pinball Hall of Fame.
For some of it, yeah, probably.
So, any comments
You
more
verse
on
the train. The train wins every. Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
George Coe, thank you.
It is only catching the train. There's no winning the train.
Yeah. I live by a train, so I've seen a few accidents in
Yeah,
my time.
and missing the train isn't the worst thing.
Nah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do too. Small town Factoryville it was used to be called before. It's got its newer name, but yeah, we have train track. Can hear them from my house, but they're a little ways away, not far.
So, from my mind, the homebrew, which actually people that have built their homebrew pinball games don't like to call it homebrew. I keep thinking if you ever made beer.
Yeah, and they do call like some video games homebrew too. I've heard it called that way. They call it.
So I prefer not to call it homebrew, but at any rate, there's a bunch of them out there. If you go on the Pinside, they have a section, and you can see people. Sometimes they're putting updates on they're blogging their way, and it takes a long time. I mean, some people say, well, okay, I got this and I got that, and then nothing happens for 6 months.
Sure.
They're like, the damn software, I had troubles getting that, and or getting the playfield cut out and getting the electronics working. So
took longer
these
than
days,
expected.
Yeah, and it's not cheap either. If you say, well, if I just do this and do it, each little step is $50 for this, $50 for that. You put it all together, and you spent $4,000 to $5,000 on just the hardware, and then it'll take you however many hours to get the software working correctly.
Right.
Even though Mission Pinball has a whole framework set up where you can get things flipping pretty quick, which is actually nice.
Oh, interesting.
At the last Chicago show, there was like the Sonic Spinball, which looked really nice. The Legends of Valhalla, which started out as a homebrew, and that was picked up by American Pinball.
Okay.
And that was fun to play. I got to talk to the designer of that, and
I've yet to play one of their tables. They got a leprechaun. I wanted to check out. Yeah, I think it's Leprechaun. 99.9 it was Leprechaun.
There's Houdini and
maybe it was Houdini. Maybe it's not
Hot
Leprechaun.
Wheels.
I thought it was Leprechaun. Maybe it is Houdini. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was Houdini. I don't know why I got Leprechaun. I thought it was Leprechaun. I'll have to look. You can always check it out, but
now you go like this, Leprechaun. Didn't Mike Myers do that or something?
we were gonna watch it, yeah. And it still might happen. Yeah. I'm not sure if Mike Myers, I don't know who did that. It could be. You could be right.
Let me see. Good Grief has got a lot of questions.
Let's see.
Tore down Archer. No, the Archer exists. It's in a Stern warehouse. My software development station is no more, so I can't really recreate it at home. Which, it's not that big of a deal. I assume it's been backed up. I know it was parts of it were backed up, but they're off site.
Right on. Definitely Houdini. I don't know where Leprechaun came from.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the point is I've yet to play one, and I'm looking forward to it. I just wanted to check out their pinball machines.
The other one that's very popular was the Total Nuclear Annihilation, or something like that, TNA.
Right. Is that the one you said with does it hit the pin glass?
It hits everything.
It hits
That
everything.
machine is so powerful, random, and infuriating. But that's Spooky Pinball makes those, and yeah, the Archer. To answer a question that I'm sort of eyeballing the chat here is Archer was just put out to pasture, probably after the last with the not Pittsburgh, Chicago show, Chicago Expo.
It's not long.
And I don't think Stern has a dedicated room. It was just put out into an unused corner or an office or something. I don't know. I could ask my brother, but he's in Europe right now, going to European pin.
These are the IP18, IPF18 right now.
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
I was watching it earlier.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. So, yeah, the Archer exists, but it's in controlled conditions, I guess. Yeah, one thing you have to be careful if linking a pinball manufacturer, which is Stern, to Archer, which is owned by somebody.
Right.
So you probably you can't link the two together, saying this is Stern's Archer. No.
Right.
They bought the design of it, but none of the IP that's associated with it.
Right.
And
right. I remember I read an article and there was like talk. Will they pony up? Can they pony up the money? Will they pony up the money to get Archer licensing and this and that? A lot of speculation going on when the homebrew table, Archer table, got written about.
I doubt it, since there's so many voice actors.
Yeah,
involved.
it seemed a pricey endeavor.
Yeah. And even the estates of the people that are no longer with us, they're
gonna want a piece. So, yeah, yeah.
Usually the licensing is just for the visuals, and then any voice is done by a studio actor.
Yeah, and then you'd have to get a replacement for 3. Well, you'd be using the clips, I guess it wouldn't matter, but
yeah. So I do know there was a virtual pin made of Archer. It was released a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there is. It's pretty good. It's fun. It's different. It's fun. It's one of my favorite ones. Yeah, actually, of the Game Gear ones, I like it a lot better than I like the Star Wars, like that one in Family Guy. I just played it a couple nights ago. I was like, duh.
Oh, Andrew Highway Pinball. I don't know what they're doing these days. There's also Haggis Pinball. Right, a lot of these places come out of the woodwork, so to speak. If there's more of a demand, which I don't mind.
Right.
More pinball's good. Whether or not you see them locally or somebody's, you still have to pay $6,000 to $10,000 to get a game in your house.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. One way or the other, shipping, handling, transporting it yourself. Gas prices came down there a little bit. That's nice.
Yeah. And you have to have a vehicle large enough to hold it.
Renting the vehicle, right? Renting the vehicle. Yeah, it's an endeavor. I've toyed with it and then been like, you ain't gonna clean it. You want to clean your computer. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't. You're not gonna do that. But it may happen one day. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll find a caretaker or something. Some kid to do my dirty work. Like, you can play it all you want. Just clean it.
Okay, well, that's all I have about Archer.
All right, I did want to I wanted to take a moment to embarrass someone, if we could. The viewer of ours. I don't think he could make it today. I'm not sure. We will find out in a minute if he's in the audience, probably. And then we'll be getting out of here after one more little thing. Let me see if I can grab that up here. Yeah, here we go.
I still have some tourney cam.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Before all that? All right, let's hold off on this. No.
You want to hold off?
Yeah, let's hold off.
I
got a little sneak peek or something, but I don't know how well I can read.
Well, let me know.
All right,
So,
tourney cam. Let's do.
Yeah, I gotta switch notes. Oh. And some of you, perhaps all of you, say, "What the heck is a tourney cam?" And so I noted in that Arcade Expo says, "Oh, they had a tournament going, and they had cameras and TVs above the games, so people could watch."
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So before that,
it's a lot of TVs.
Yeah, they're like they say in the before time, which I'm saying about 2010.
Okay.
You go to a show or whatnot, and there really wasn't anything that you could broadcast or whatever. There's wasn't a way to watch. So here's a picture. Open this up. So let me see if you can see that there's a camera on this boom, and then there's looks like me trying to play pinball. Okay, that was the first version of a tourney cam, which actually clamped to the backboard, which turns out to be not a good idea.
That looks severe. That's
yeah.
aluminum though, right?
Yeah, it's all aluminum. Okay. And here's like my usual monitor. So that's big game. So notice you can see the whole back glass and then the play field.
Right.
So the idea was, well, hey, if you have a tournament and people want to see what you're doing, can we get these games imaged somehow? And it was like, well, it shouldn't be that hard, which are famous last words. So yeah, that embodiment with the clamp or whatever, that was a bad idea because turns out when the game is hot and it's humid outside, some of the mechanicals, they tended to fade off, and the whole thing fell onto the play field.
Ooh.
Which my brother said, "Get that crap off of there." All right, so I said, well, here's one way to do it. So you have your game, and I got to kind of scroll through.
Sure.
And you get a HD camera, which we're just starting to get affordable. So you envision this is close to 15 years ago.
Right.
And then somehow, and this is using HDMI.
So you went to Cat 5? Or Cat 5?
Yeah, that's one of them. And I said, okay, well, I can probably get a couple games with the camera. Notice here it says a PC for web streaming. Okay, so this was just an idea, but that was very expensive to do back
I imagine
then.
so. 15 years ago? Yeah, right.
And streaming wasn't quite available at every location. So it's like, okay, well, it wouldn't be hard to, be put into there, but the projector mounted vertical and on a screen or something like that. Or in this case, I've got TVs mounted, which,
right.
Excuse my poor little diagram here.
Yeah.
So what I came up with is something like that. And here's, where did my screen go? All right. So there's a camera stand that I said, all right, they don't touch the game. They just slide behind them because some of the venues, you didn't have room on the sides of the games.
Okay,
or
sure.
People were on the sides of the games, and you had to keep these things kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
So that's just an example of one of the small cameras, and then the wiring actually goes inside of the boom. So it was very clean looking.
Yeah, yeah.
And
nice.
I have an assembly diagram. So yeah, it was called tourney cam. I don't know if you can see it. There's a clamp so you can adjust.
Okay, yeah. Oh, nice, nice.
So everything fit in there. So you just had a small camera.
So a customized boom arm. That's really cool.
Yeah, I just built those in my garage.
Yeah, brand it.
And then, oh yeah, so then I ran. It's Rat's Nest.
Wow, that's a setup.
So that's just a four of
Switchers.
everything. So those are power supplies for the cameras, and then an HDMI switch, 4 into 1, and then a HDMI extender, since running HDMI cable like 50 feet or something may not be practical. So that just converts. You use a Cat 5. And this was a picture taken at Cal Extreme in the tournament hall. And in fact, the Cat 5 had to run under a carpet runner.
Okay.
Because they gave us this crappy location. And people were running carts over it and walking and all that, but it survived.
Right on.
And then it went to a projector. Do I have a picture of that? Maybe,
That's real
maybe
clean,
not.
though.
Oh yeah, that's my.
That's a.
What the hell is that?
It's one of those things from that magazine where they're like, "What is this?"
Oh, that's my Tourney-Cam logo. For some reason, it's given me this huge O picture.
Magnified 300 times.
Yeah, let me see. Do I have?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Everything else there. Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let me get this guy. So the first time I took it to Cal Extreme, and all right, here's a video. If I show it properly. All right, that's coming up, okay? All right.
Yeah.
There's our projector sideways. Go ahead and start it up. I'll want to record some of the game. Here's the rig, tabled outside. Yeah, that's underneath.
All right.
There's Todd. He's 7 feet tall.
Right. That's your.
Hit his
litmus
head on the
test?
camera.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Oh.
Layout's underway. This
Oh,
is
that's
for
cool.
a tournament spot. First use of Tourney-Cam in a tournament.
It's like a long time ago and not that long ago.
Okay.
Right, you get so used to the tech, I just, forget, like, it wasn't really that long ago that it was, like, didn't exist.
So this is...
What's that?
So
Alright,
when you have 4 cameras and then 1 projector, so during whatever, it's open to free play. There were people walking out and they wanted to see, oh, someone's playing the game. I want to watch what they're playing.
Oh, cool.
So this is the actual HDMI switch that I put into a little pinball cabinet.
Nice, that's very cute. That's smart. And they could choose which one they wanted to view. That's really nice. That's cool.
Yeah, so inside is a little PIC microcontroller. Then I wired into the HDMI switch remote. There it goes.
Oh, and
That's just booting up.
All right.
So then you can select which of the cameras you want to see. So this is wow, it's wireless controlled, not Bluetooth. So whatever
Right.
tournament it was used last, we had Lord of the Rings, AC/DC, Cirque Voltaire, and Metallica, and then it's been sitting on a shelf since then.
Right on, right on. It's still very cool. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So I call that selective junior, whatever. It's kind of dumb. But,
Yeah, no, it's cool though. I mean, maybe if you can jazz it up, it makes it fun.
maybe I'll repurpose it, but it looks like a.
Yeah,
here we go.
There we go. Tourney cam. There's the logo.
And
yeah, isn't that dumb face that she's like, I really want it. You got right. Ever decide you got a hell of an auction going on?
Yeah, and it weighs a bit, so people can't kick it around. But you think, 15 years ago, you couldn't find that,
right.
And the the video you'd come up with, for example. Oh, that's loud. Oh.
That's cool.
So you can find those on the Pinball 101 channel on YouTube.
Right.
From 2010. And I looked, and you're not going to find tournament video of that format before 2010.
Right.
So we were the first to do that. But the downside is the cameras would record about 2 hours, and you couldn't see the player. You just had to know when the game started and when it ended. And you'd go through the editor once you got home. You'd have 2 hours of pinball playoffs, and then you had to go recreate the position, who was up, which ball, because you could see everything. And then, of course, it was in the not landscape mode, which is that, but the portrait mode, like that.
Right.
YouTube at the time did not support portrait mode.
Fun.
And they also had a 10-minute time limit on your video clips.
Oh, right.
Unless you were some, I don't know.
Yeah, unless you were special. And had
Unless
a
you
lot
were paid them money. So the first versions of those, they went on Vimeo, which supported portrait mode, and only you had however many gigabytes of your account. And it was very popular with players that, especially guys that were in the video that were playing the game.
Right.
And so I would go back and edit all the games and then upload them, and that took forever.
All right.
And that was your first version of tournament play, shown online from an overhead perspective of where you can see what the player is doing. A lot of times somebody would be behind them over the shoulder with a camera, or in that one example I showed of, we're in the Cal Extreme Hall, a guy named Johnny O, I forget his last name, I just knew him as Johnny O. He set up almost a jib boom with the camera on one of them, which sort of works if you have room for it. But in a lot of these environments, you don't have room. It's just, like Cal Extreme at this time, they just shoved him in the hallway. So very annoying, but so you don't have a lot of room to move around because people are constantly walking back and forth, and there's kids back in there. So the static cameras work much better. You can just set them up behind the game.
Right, and just leave them.
At the time, putting them on the side wasn't viable because people were going on the sides of the games as well, and you'd have kids that would, start beating on it.
Oh, sure.
So after a couple of shows, though, of course, everybody sees that, and they're all, "Oh, that's pretty neat." And I said, "Yeah, here's how I made it, and then here's some cameras that I've looked at." And
right. Yeah, I mean, because that becomes the next important question. What kind of equipment you're using?
Yeah. Here's a camera. Here's a tourney camera, and in fact,
well, that's a small little one.
Yeah, I don't know if oh yeah, this one. Well, I would label them in a.
Right.
So these are cheapo Panasonics, but they're still $250
Yeah,
back in
right.
the day, and you had to buy 4 of them.
Yeah. So
And then
yeah, that's a grand.
this is the wide angle lens.
Right on.
So I actually calculated what kind of the angle I needed for the height and whatnot, just to make sure I'd get coverage. And that was, that's my favorite picture of. Oh, great. Why is this thing always? There we go. Yeah. So that's what a Tourney Cam looks like when it's installed or something like that.
Oh, right on, right on.
But yeah, that was just so I could capture the play field and the display in the back. But you see them now. Oh, people have gotten all sorts of versions, and they've got multiple cameras.
Right.
So,
yeah. It's come a bit of a way.
Yeah, every tournament has them. It's no big deal.
yeah. No. Yeah. They're pretty.
But back then, yeah, it was quite a bit of work to get those going. And I used to put out a list of cameras, and then I'd get feedback from other people doing this of which cameras wouldn't put icons in your HD display. So
right.
some cameras would put some little crap icons or some status, and if you couldn't get that to go away, you didn't want to use that camera.
Right.
Some cameras wouldn't stay on for more than an hour, or some would overheat. So.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, all these stupid little
automatic
things.
shut off features, right? Not enough battery life.
Yeah. And then even a projector. So the original version, which was you'd select which camera, then the projector would be on a wall or on a screen. That was because what did the flat screen TV cost in those days? That was
when 2014.
Yeah, no, 2010.
Oh, 2010. Oh wow.
Oh, they're about $2,000.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah. So I was not gonna buy 4 TVs and transport them somewhere. And the other thing too, I had a stipulation is it had to fit in the trunk of a car. So here's I think I can do that. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Yeah, a bundle of tubes, which were the camera stands, and then
that's awesome how they just fold down like that.
Yeah, they designed them to kind of just collapse. But you can use, well, some people use mic stands or something, but these are special built. And then there's a bucket of cabling and a tripod for the projector.
Right.
So all that fits into your trunk, and they're portable.
That's not too, it's not bad when it's all broken down.
So yeah, when you got to drive 8 hours to Cal Extreme or up to San Francisco for the Pinball Expo. But yeah, within a few years, I know Papa, because I talked with their tech guy, and they had something set up, and God, with just a few years' time, everybody had some sort of camera set up, and then YouTube is getting on the ball. So people are then doing that. And then once streaming was accessible, that's what you see now. So,
yeah, I mean, not until like 2010, 14, something like that. Or 14, 12, 14. YouTube really come to its own.
You could record, I guess, a tournament and put it online, but like I said, that was actually very tedious to do.
Yeah, but where are you going to find it too? I remember Vimeo. I think it's still around even.
Yeah, I still have a Vimeo account.
Yeah.
Restricted, but
yeah.
So anyone that likes actual playtime video, there is some history there. I was there.
Right on, yeah.
But
that's amazing.
I was
so many
trying
firsts.
to promote it. Yeah, trying to promote it to get people say, "Hey, look what you can do." And even way back in the day, we kind of set up a rig to show some my brother finally got a decent cable modem so we could stream playtime to his buddy in Massachusetts.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying something about that. What
Yeah, like
may
Ustream
have
or
been right.
Oh, I
Quite
don't
possibly.
know if that was the
I mean,
first.
how many
but it
other
was-
people would be even bothering to do that?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I mean, there's pinball players, yes, but then like, who's gonna get their computer and a cable modem and stream it to their buddy? That's a whole different thing.
So, yeah, that's kind of like the early days, and now I could probably go online and find my brother playing in Germany. You know, if it's streamed. Which
Oh,
it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
And,
JDL's playing that.
announcers, so there's nice graphics. They have multiple cameras, and
Yeah.
it's entertaining to watch, and it's easy enough to where I can tell mom. I said, "Hey, you'll find your kid playing pinball in Germany," and
Maybe
she's
your
able to-
mom.
yes, in front of her laptop and be able to watch him play a little bit. So that's how easy it's become.
Yeah, I remember that. It is.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I just
I
remember
mean, now
going
they're
to-
even demanding foot cams.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see no foot cam. I was like, oh my lord. You want it all?
cam?
Yeah, I need to see the foot placement. It's important. It's important.
Oh boy. Well,
Yeah.
the only thing in
Your
that
stance
demo,
style.
yeah,
Mhm.
or you're not dancing. God, there's a popular player that
I
would
do.
just kind of dance in front of the game.
I do too.
But yeah, that tall
That hurts
guy
my
showed
feet
in
too
the-
much.
Todd McCulloch was the tall guy in that one video I showed, and the camera might have been a little too low, but over
It
the
looked
past
like it.
couple, yeah,
Actually.
the past couple tournaments, I would realize that we call it the TMAC limit. So your camera, nothing could be below 7 feet, because that would bonk his head.
Nice.
Or if you had the placement wrong, he would let you know. So I had to
Oh,
be
I'm sure.
cognizant of that. But nowadays, yeah, you can go to just any casual pickup tournament or stuff online, and you'll see these great rigs, and everyone can make one at home.
Yeah, and then people are still improving upon it too. I mean, it's probably a never-ending refinement until it's perfect. I mean, people are using finding just easier, cheaper ways to do the same thing.
Yeah, actually, in doing Archer, I hooked up a webcam, and I managed to interface it with the software. So the webcam would sit on the top of the back box and look down at the table.
Right.
And then in the software, I could combine the display portion just electronically, in software. you
Oh,
just say,
okay, yeah,
here's the
yeah.
screen.
And
Merge
you
it
just
with-
bring that back in. Yeah.
Yeah, the table view, and then you have an HDMI coming out. So it was a built-in tourney cam. So
Nice.
you could, but I do believe, I think the newer games have some sort of video out you can access, because I've seen some
Okay.
players do it.
Oh, thank you for the bits. Oh my god, thanks Game Club Central, how you doing? Good to see you guys.
And of course, was it Pin Blast or whatever, where people were playing in a tournament in their own game room throughout the country.
Dang.
Oh, that was amazing to watch. And it's like, oh man, it's you can put a system in your own home, you can link up your game, and then you can play against other people for $1,000
Right.
in the tournament. So
Yeah. That is,
well,
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit
that
of
is
just
pretty
be
neat.
there. I'll get that out because no one's gonna care about it in a day or two, other than me.
Pandish is awesome. Oh wait, Pin Clash. That's what he said. That's a Pandish.
Oh,
I
Pin
can't-
Clash.
Pin
Thank you.
Clash.
Thank you.
I get like God. I need my glasses.
Yeah, that just escaped me at the moment. That was fun
Like
to
you're
watch.
talking about pizza.
Pizza. What?
Yeah,
No.
I just read her. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I fed you already. You should
I know.
be
I know.
hungry.
Pandish. Yeah, Pin Clash is awesome.
Pin Clash was they did it really well, and they run it every year. Thank you. Yeah, I tuned in. I was saying, I just want to see some of it, and then turns out it's like, I like this format.
Right.
I can kind of understand what's going on because the way they explain it. So some of this stuff, unless you're really well versed in the rule set, you're not going to understand what they're doing.
Oh, totally. Yes. I'm still kind of new in some of it.
And of course, these kids like Escher Lefkoff.
Oh yeah, I was
played his
watching that.
dad. I played his dad before.
Oh, nice.
So it's like I remember him as a little. He had to go on the step stool to reach the game. But see some of the kids coming out there that are really good. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah. He's really good. He's
Yes,
amazing.
he does. But
I haven't been able to catch him yet, but yeah, he streams sometimes.
all right, so that's all I have.
All right.
For pinball.
And,
I left you with a clip I found my cousin gave me.
Okay. Oh, we can play that after. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for doing this last interview. I'm glad we could get together and do it again. And thank everyone on the Memorial Weekend for coming out. I forgot that it was Memorial Weekend when we scheduled this. It slipped my mind. So yeah, if you stay on, I'll catch up with you in a little bit, or you can contact me in a bit. But
I'll mute myself.
I'm gonna play this real quick, and yeah, then we'll do the drawing and we'll see how it goes from there. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Let me do this. All right, there we go. And before we do that, I want to do this. So I want to embarrass someone real quick, and then we're gonna move into something else. Little treat for you guys. So let me get my window capture back up. I don't know why it's all going kablooey on me. There we go. So a little intermission. Can we hear? Why can't I make this bigger?
Yes.
This is as big as I'm gonna get.
That's as big.
This is our own very Mr. Grinch. Right. That's awesome. Give it up for Mr. Grinch. That's fucking amazing. Dude's fucking talented. All right, we got something really special for you. Just to get you in the mood. We're gonna stop that right there. Oh my god, I don't know what they're doing there. Stop. And on with this special treat. A little hanky panky.
Howdy again, folks. Today we're going to make a Hank pinball machine out of backyard parts I got in the North 40. Anyone could do this at their own home, in their own garage. All you need is some tools. We'll get those going. But first, let's get in our Hank shed and see what we got that we can use. Now, the wood that you want to use for your table has got to be pretty good. This stuff here, yeah, this ain't going to work. It's a little too worn out. We could use it for other stuff. All right, what we got? This makes a fine whiteboard, but first we got to paint it white. First we need some paint. This should do. I got a whole bucket of it. First things first, let's get our whiteboard cleaned up. Get all the cobwebs off of it, all them spiders. That's how we prep a whiteboard. I've seen it done at the factory. You can do it too. All right, just get that lid off of here. All right. Don't step in it. You know, sometimes it's easiest just to pour a little blob out. You know, so might got to stir it up a little. Paint gets all watery. But yeah, this will take forever with this brush. Yeah, let's just get a little bit out. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, just smear it all around. So you get a good whiteboard going. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Don't be shy with that paint. In fact, the thicker the paint, the better your play field will perform. The ball's going to spin better for your spin saves. Got any excess paint, just shove it in the back in the bucket. Like that. Yep, you can save that paint, use it for your next pinball table. Yep, get it real smooth like. Watch out for them bugs. Get any bugs trapped, just paint them over. Get her all brushed off. Ah, look at that nice white shine. It's going to play pretty. Right now we're going to put on our side rails. Get this thing all beefed up. We got some wood. We just got to lay it down and attach it. Go ahead and put some screws in. Hold her in nice and tight. Just like that. All right, and then cutting off the ends. I like using this. All right. Now for the end piece here. All right, perfect fit. Look at that. Snug as a bug in a rug. You can see we got a nice frame giving us good support in there. Oh yeah. All right, now that we got the basic table frame going, now we're going to put the sides on. We just get this nice board here. You line it all up like this, same as before. We'll just get that square and then we'll just screw it all in. All right. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Perfect cut every time. All right. That there's a right pretty cut. Clean it off. We got the side rails. All right, now you can see our Hank's special pinball table starting to take shape. We got the sides on, we got the bottom rails, we got the front. We're gonna make this into the front here. Yeah, probably gotta need 2 of them. And then we'll start getting ready to lay out the table and think about some legs. All right, Hank here. Got a treat for you. Our new pinball game is gonna be dinosaurs versus monster trucks. We're gonna do a little bit of time travel. Show these dinosaurs what's what with their monster trucks. Rawr! But maybe you gotta start your skill level slow. We'll go with the tractor first. Dinosaurs versus tractors. Doesn't sound as good. You can bite that tire clean off. And here's our awesome play field we got. So here we got like the tar pit of doom. We've got the die disco. I hate disco. Some egghead stuff. I might change that. I got something better. Yeah, we got some ramps. We got a spin saver. My favorite is the outhouse drain hole. We got an it kicker. It'll kick the it out of you. Got some 12 gauge slings. That'll show them dinosaurs what's what. You have a couple of pop bumpers. Maybe a natural light. Something good. Make you want to play some more. Gonna be an awesome pin. Of course, you gotta have parts to build your pinball game. We got some wire. You're gonna need a whole mess of wire. Now, doesn't matter where you get this. You can, speakers or whatnot, stuff out of the washing machine. It's all good. It's just wire. Of course, you're gonna need some pinballs. I recommend these, not with the flat spot. You're gonna need some parts. You got a whole mess of parts in here. You're gonna need a whole mess of screws. I recommend these. These will hold real good. I don't know, we might need these. I don't know about the 1,000 points though. I'm gonna have to change that. Right over it. Probably need a flipper or two. I recommend these. And some buttons. Gotta have buttons. You're gonna make a pin. Green buttons work good too. I like the sound. Of course, you need lights. I recommend something like this. These work great for lights. You got that full multicolor spectrum. You just put these all over. Light it up real good. It'll make it pop. I think in the future I'll make a video on LEDs. And if you want to go the budget route, you can't beat this. Oh yeah, you get a whole mess of LEDs here. And they're cheap too. Just go down to Walmart, pick up a whole mess of them. That'll really pop, especially around the holidays. Dinosaurs don't like tar pits, so here we go. You can roll a ball in the tar pit. Circle the drain like he's ready to die. But then he's saved. This would be pretty good. And it makes a cool sound. Alright, there's the disco ball mayhem. Since we don't like disco balls, the ball just comes in through here. Just destroys them all. My favorite. You know, when you're trying to watch the Bass Channel, then all the kids come in, they want to watch some lame princess movie. Well, here's your retribution. It's the princess pop-ups. You knock them down. We'll use this here switch. You just mount it up behind their head, and when you take aim and knock them down, get extra points. I think you could do a sweep if you hit it at the right angle. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better than that Congula mod. And then for our back box, we'll design something later. We'll get it going. First we'll get the playfield going. Since we've got our whiteboard all set up, ready to go, next thing to do is start drilling some holes in it. And then we'll start mounting up our playfield toys. Howdy, I be Hank, star of Hank's Pinball Tips. You might have seen me before on the YouTube. And I done showed a whole mess of people how to fix their games, their pins and all that. And for episode 10, if you're keeping track, I was going to show you how to build a good pinball game I call Dinosaurs versus Monster Trucks. It looked like that. Well, I was right in the middle of building it and my youngin' came down with some sort of lip fungus. So I had to spend all my money fixing his lip. Yeah, that lip medicine ain't cheap. I was just going to give him some beer, but the doc says, Hank, you can't do that. It's just a kid. Well, so far as you've seen, I've done built the whiteboard. It's going to put some legs on it. I got all the parts. Got some cool toys to put on it, but I'm not going to be able to finish it. So Bubba said I should do a Hank starter, ask people for money in the community, and I can finish my game. It'd be pretty cool. So with a mess of money, I could probably get some good artwork going and get the game real playable and bring it to pinball parties and let everyone play with it and see how cool it is. So let me see, if you pledge $1, you get your name on Hank's Pinball Tips video. Oh, that'd be well worth it. You're gonna pledge $2 or more, or a few beers, you get a Hank's trading card. Oh yeah. Pledge $5 or a fancy beer like one of them Keystones or Strohs, you get a Hank's trading card signed by Hank himself. Oh yeah. Be the envy of your pinball buddies. Now if you pledge $10 or a whole mess of beer, you get a Hank's t-shirt. You know, like the ones he wears in his videos. You can wear those all over, even to church. Now you pledge $25 or say a Pony Kago PBR.
Oh boy, that's the good stuff. Then you get a Hank's hat, like the one he done wearing in his videos. So support Hank, and I'll get that game going real good like. I'll see you soon.
That was too fucking awesome.
Right.
That was too awesome. Alright, I would just want to thank everyone for showing
I
up.
don't even think a pony keg would even be $25 anymore. That shit's gonna
pony
be so
keg?
expensive now.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I don't even know. No, probably not. Probably $50, $60.
That was amazing.
50, 55? I was, yeah, 50, $60. I was right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right, yeah, I wanted to thank everyone again for taking your time on your Memorial Day weekend to spend some time with me and Mr. Randy Elwin, and we'll see you on Monday for tournament. We're continuing our FX tournament. We've also started an FX3 tournament from Saturday to Saturday, and we're thinking about get a good turnout. We're going to be raffling off for anyone that enters into the FX3 tournament, $5 Steam card, and we're going to be doing this weekly. So put in a score, can't hurt. All right, so catch you all on Monday. Thanks again, everyone. See you then.
Brain Games is now over.